Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan. Hope everybody's keeping well and safe, of course. I I have a gentleman with me um, called Henry, and he'd been he's saying that he was born near York, not in York, but near York, and he moved around. His father was in the military, and he moved around. Um, when he was old enough, he started. He was a keen horseman, and he ended up in the cavalry. And he subsequently went abroad and fought in the uh, in Holland and places like this. When he came back, he found it difficult to adjust back to civilian life. Same old story. Same story through time. He the only way he could survive was to not become a hardened criminal, but to have a criminal edge, like poaching, for instance, and petty pilfering and things like this, until he ended up on the road. He Right, okay. He says he was a horse dealer. Um, Basically, he used to, and not a legitimate horse dealer. His character, this guy. Anyway, he ended up taking to the road and becoming a highwayman. Right, okay. He says he only robbed people who robbed the innocent and robbed the poor. He wasn't a Robin Hood figure, but he was the people who used to squeeze money, the wealthy basically. He used to squeeze money out of the poor for their own gains. He used to take it from them. And he did help people. Right. He says, I never shot anybody while I was a highwayman. He says, because you wouldn't swing it at the gallows if you hadn't killed anybody. You wasn't likely to hang if you hadn't killed anybody while you was robbing them hmm, or while they were robbing coaches and things like this. Oh, right. He says, I just didn't rob coaches. He says, I was a burglar as well. I used to burgle. He's a bit of a character, this guy, and he's, I think the term would be, he's a lovable rogue. He says that pickings got scarce over here because of different circumstances that was happening, and he ended up taking the advice of a magistrate who didn't want to see him in court because he'd known him as a boy, and I get the feeling that he quite liked him, and he advised him and helped him. Whether or not he should have done, I don't know. That's not for me to decide. But he ended up helping him buy a ticket on a ship to the Americas. Right, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's quite, yeah. Once he was in America, he was in Virginia, he's saying, Virginia area. He ended up becoming a trader because there weren't many traders in them days, and he used to trade in horses and blankets. The blankets used to go to all your trapping type people, and he didn't have a hardware store, but he had like an outposty type. It looks like he's showing me. It looks like a log cabin, and it's got what they call a corral at the back with a load of horses and things. Now, he could be ruthless at times. Don't forget, he was a trained soldier, so he knows how to fight, or he knew how to fight, and he could look after his stock. He used to get blankets through this magistrate. Wow, that's a good. So he says, I became quite a rich man. He says, and I used to help people. This magistrate used to help people. He wouldn't convict people for no reason. If there were underlying circumstances, he would help them. I'm asking him for the names. He's not giving me the name. Obviously, it would be controversial. When you're looking at here, around the 1700s, so it'd be late 1600s, 1700s type. Time. He did live his days in America. He did come back to England, and he was not a big man, but he was looked upon as an influential man because of his experiences. Now, he's telling me that he was lucky. A lot of highwaymen didn't end up in fortunate circumstances. A lot of them ended up on the gallows, as he's putting it. So he's a rags to riches story. Right. He's not giving me his surname, but he says he's quite well known in Virginia for what he did. He didn't do hunting or anything like that. It was just trading, and he wouldn't trade furs. All he would trade was horses and blankets. I suppose saddles and things. I don't know. He's not giving me that information, so I don't want to embellish on what he's telling me. But he's a really nice guy. He says, I died in my bed. And them's his words, not mine. He passed into the world of spirits in his sleep, which he says he was very lucky. And he was 76, which I suppose in them days was a ripe old age. All right. He had a Native American wife, and he had children. And I suppose the children will be around today, which he's not bringing forward or telling me. But he's quite proud of himself for being able to get himself out of this hole that he was unfortunately thrown into. So he did really well, bless him. And he's got a fantastic energy. And if that's not a good story for anybody listening in to progress in their own life, life's journey, then I don't know what isn't. Even if you come from humble beginnings, you can reach for the stars. You can climb your way up with hard work and ingenuity of your mind. Okay, bless you. Right, he's pulling away now, and I can hear his spurs clinking. So, bless him. He's a really lovely energy, and okay, he says he might come back to me, but he's given his story, and I think it's a wonderful story personally. But anyway, that's the story he's given me. He's pulling away, so that's it for now. And thank you, bless you too. If he brings any more information through, I'll add that on. So I'll do another video on that subject. And on that note, I'd just like to say thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoy what I do. Please like and subscribe, and hit the little bell so that any future videos you'll be notified when I put them on. I only put on videos when they come in. So that's when I do it. Okay, have a great day, and I'll speak to you on the next one. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in.